Hey YouTube, I had this battle requested to be posted because I lost and I didn't want to say no because that made me look like a jerk, so here it is. I start off with my Sableye, like, sometimes. So I Will-O-Wisp was Politoed, and he's obviously going to try and Toxic Stall me because, you know, that's what Politoads do to walls like this. So he's going to take some burn damage, and I'm going to take Toxic damage, which is like 2 times less, and he takes back his Politoed and he brings out a Rose Raid. And then so I go for a foul play, and that does do almost half, not quite though. And so I restore to full health, and I get taken back down because of Toxic. So I go for a taunt expecting a Leech Seed, and that is what he goes for. So I'm just sitting here trolling his team like a boss. And all of a sudden, he switches out and goes into a fortress. I'm like, alright, I'll burn your fortress too. But I miss. Way too many times. Will-O-Wisp will miss. Don't take the chance, people. So then I go for a foul play. And I know fortress is defensive, and that's like the only offensive move I have. So I probably should have gone for a taunt. But kinda was being a noob there, so he set some rocks on me. And I go for a burn, again, not going for the taunt, expecting him to gyro ball. But he goes for a volt switch. And I don't remember what he goes out to, but I do know that my Sableye will die at the end of the turn. He goes into a Politoed, and he takes the burn and leftovers health. And then I get taken out by Toxic. So, there goes my lead, that I do have 2 Pokemon burned. So, I go for the Hex and the Gengar, because it does more than Shadow Ball when something has a status condition. And that almost kills it. And he goes for a Scald. Fortunately, it does not take me out, and I do not get burned. So, I get some leftovers, and I decide to go for, you know, another Hex attack, because I'm not going to take the chance of a Focus Blast and missing. So now we're, let's say, I guess, almost even. He goes into a Rose Raid, and I go for a sub. See what he does, and he goes for Spikes. And I expect him to go for Spikes again, but he predicts my move, and he goes for, oh, wait, no, I use Hex. I don't know why I did. Being a noob again, I guess. So he goes for a Giga Drain, and that takes out my sub, and I can't sub again, because I don't have enough health for that. Only have 25%. So I go for Disable, thinking it's going to use Spikes again. Or, thinking it's going to use Giga Drain, but it goes for another pair of Spikes. So now he has 2 layers of Spikes and Rocks on me, which is really not good, because Supers on my team don't take well to that. And finally, I go for a Focus Blast, and not very effective. Kind of forgot about that. Thought it'd do more damage because it has higher power, but it didn't. So, apparently now I'm seeded, and Rose Raids are really good at taking your energy and setting up hazards, just so you guys know. I go for, I do believe one last Hex before this thing takes me out. Oh, nope. It sets up another pair of Spikes. And you guys will see how this entire setup will completely ruin my team later, because some Pokemon on my team are built to get HP back, and yeah, these hazards don't help with that. So I go for a Hex, and it doesn't do anything because it's not burned or poisoned. So he kills me off with Hidden Power. And so he has a Rose Raid to almost full health, and I go in for Alakazam because I know, thinking that it's going to outspeed, and it does, and Psychic is stab super effective. So his Rose Raid faints, and then he goes into Fortress, and it's burned, and I really don't have anything that could like hurt it really. So I taunt him, expecting him to go for a Spikes, and I'm like, fail. He already has 3 layers of spikes up. I thought he only had 2 because the chat box was going so fast. So I get a critical hit on Psychic. And he gyro balls me, and I do not die. And he is fortunately killed off by the burn, so he can't do anything else. And then he goes into a Gyarados. So he's probably going to go for I'm thinking he's going to go for a late game sweep. So he goes for a waterfall, outspeeds me, and he gets an irrelevant critical hit. So then I'm going to do the only thing I can to slow this Gyarados down because it has 1.5 attack. I'm going to attempt to burn it with my Dusclops. And those hazards take me down to almost half. And this Gyarados takes me down to 4%. And he is burned, and I'm going to try and burn stall him as long as I can, but I'm probably thinking it's only going to be 1 turn because Protect isn't all that reliable after 1, really. And I have gone 3 turns Protect before, but I was really lucky. Goes for a waterfall, but Protect blocks it, and he takes the burn damage. And this turn he should kill me off. Because, unlucky for me, Protect fails. And so he takes me out with a waterfall. I'm thinking this thing is either scarfed or just likes to use a waterfall. And it has Moxie, apparently. So, good thing I burned it because its attack should be at regular. So I go into my Toxic Stall, but I can't Toxic Stall since, it's burned already. So he switches out and goes into a Gengar, and I try to go for a sub, and I get it, but I can't do anything with this Gengar, because normal type moves don't affect it, cannot be toxic, and it has Levitate. So I call into a Haxorus, and hazards take their toll once more, and it goes for a substitute, probably expecting, I'm probably going to try and disable me, because that's what my Gengar does, and I go for a dual chop because it breaks subs and then hits once more. So I break his sub, and then I hit him again, takes him down to 31. And then he Shadow Balled me, and that takes me out. So I'm pretty much screwed since I can't fight back with a Gliscor. So yeah, that's pretty much game. Thank you guys for watching. Oh, and before I forget, a word of the wise. Don't mess with ghost types. They can burn and Toxic Stall you, and they are resistant to your moves. Watch PO Battle number 4. See what I mean. Just a little side note. Great Battle 4. Huge thumbs up. Never lost like that before. That was a really great way to finish my team off. Thank you for the great battle. I have nothing left to say at this point, so the rest of this video is just me getting destroyed by a Gengar. Feel free to X out of the video because there's pretty much just nothing.